I have been waiting so long for this, but the boys are finally back. How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Movie Talk. And The Boys Season 4 has finally been released. I have been waiting so long for this show. I have loved every single episode of every single season before. And finally, The Boys is back. And I just gotta say, I loved these first 3 episodes. So the first 3 episodes just dropped earlier this morning, and I gotta say, I just love the fact that they're all an hour each. Not like Disney with The Acolyte, where all their episodes are like 30 minutes long. No, these are hour-long episodes. They dropped 3 hours of this show all this morning, and I gotta say, they're building up to something great. I just can't express enough just how much I love Homelander in this show. Because he is just, it's so easy, obviously, so easy to hate everything he does. And, like, I despise every little move he makes. Because he's arguably, like, one of, like, the people that I've hated most in any sort of media. And then at the end of episode 3, you just always get like this little bit of humanity that's still left in him. And it just makes me hate him so much. But at the same time, like, he's still human at the end of the day. Like, he's still a person. And that's what I really love about this show, is that, like, no matter how bad someone is, like how terrible of a person they are, everyone is still human. Like, especially A-Train. Like, I went from, like, hating him so much, and, like, they've slowly been, like, redeeming him, and, like, I really feel bad for him at times, because it's honestly, like, really tragic, the stuff that he has to go through, and it just makes me, like, it makes me realize just how well written all the characters are. However, I will say the show kind of goes on these different side plots I'm not a big fan of, especially what happens with Huey. There's a little side plot, I won't get into it because I'm pretty sure it's a spoiler, but I won't tell you anything. It's just like he goes on this own little storyline that he has with someone else, and it just drags on the show a little too long, because like the show's really fast paced. I'm going through all these things, and then it just kind of gets to his part, and I just kind of gotta sit there and watch it. Not to say that like it still adds some like pretty good depth to his character. It like there's like a lot more backstory that we get to know about him, but like it just slows down the episode so much. One thing I should point out is that there are some things in this show, in this season, I don't think I'm ever going to unsee. Like, if you've seen the first episode, you know what happens at the very end, like what they show, like that's like permanently engraved in my mind, and I do not enjoy it. Or like the second episode where they're at the convention and they see that, like, oh man, like that stuff, like it haunts you for the rest of your life. I'm still haunted by the beginning of, was it season 3, where the guy shrinks down and does you know what. Like, that stuff is something that like keeps me awake at night, and I kind of admire for admire the show for it. As weird as it sounds, like the fact that like they can engrave just stuff like that in your mind, especially in the show where like so many people just have the most brutal deaths. And by the way, there are some seriously brutal deaths in the first 3 episodes. But like in a show where it's like there's some extremely brutal things that happen to innocent people, that like stuff like that is the things that like you just never forget that you saw in this show. But I mean, I'm honestly so curious where this show is going, because I can see probably 10 different paths that this show ends up, and I honestly have no idea what's the most likely scenario, especially because it's already known that season 5 is going to be the ending, in case you haven't seen the article. And it's really interesting like how this show is going to end. I kind of love it for that. Like, I don't have any clue of what's going to happen, and I'm just in here for the ride. That's what I love the most about this show. It's just a ride. So while I wouldn't say that it's as good as season 2 or 3, I really love those 2 seasons, I wouldn't say it's as good as those, but so far, like, this is a really great opening. I am excited about what happens next. I'm looking forward to everything that happens. I'm so invested in the story at this point that, like, I was just so happy to see that they're ending it with season 5, because I don't want this show to last for too long, because it's working where how it's going. But like, if this guy is going into like season 7 or 8, then at that point it's just being dragged on too long. And I'm glad that they have a fixed way to finish up the storylines and they know how they're going to end this. But if you haven't seen this already, go watch The Boys. It's one of the best shows on television right now. But that's really everything that I have to say. If you like my review, like and subscribe, share the video if you want, and I'm going to be trying to do a review for every new episode that comes out, because I'm really looking forward to the rest of this season. But that's movie talk. I'll see ya.